Welcome to Havenville, come and take a stroll. We've got every fight imaginable for body, heart and soul. There's laws here, just the one though. Don't fight, kill or steal,
unless you do it quietly where Barty can't see how you...
Welcome to Havenville, put your weapons down. The beholder in the top hat runs this charming little town, with a monocle of magic and 1,000 watching eyes. Mr. Barty is smiling as he maps your alibis. We've got markets in the shadows and the shadows in the square. We've got deals you'll swear are legal if you don't look over there. We've got chains and auctions whispered in a velvet tone. Property is theft, they say, then sell you someone's bones. Welcome to Havenville, pick your favorite sin. We've got pit fights in the gutter where the losers don't walk in. We've got death matches sponsored by a very friendly face. No fighting in the streets, but in the pits it's fair game. Hunters Guild for monsters, Reversers Guild for pay. We'll send you somewhere deadly, then act shocked if you don't stay. Need a sword, the blacksmith smiles. Need a drink, the tavern cheers. Need to forget your conscience, there's a brothel full of tears. We've got neighborhoods with curfews, paint your house the proper shade, or the evil HOA will fine you for the grass you didn't blade. Trim your hedges, mind your manners, don't let your gargoyle roam, or the council comes to kindly break your kneecaps with a gnome. Welcome to Havenville, where the Raven Queen resides, in a temple full of whispers and Shadarkai with hollow eyes. They'll bless you for your journey, they'll mourn you in advance. They've already booked your funeral, hope you like how it's planned. We've got secrets wrapped in secrets, deals inside of lies, contracts written in the bloodstains of 100 alibis. We've got justice with a grin, we've got mercy on display. We've got no crime allowed as long as crime looks the other way. So behave, smile wide, tip your hat to Barty's eye. If you're good, you'll be protected. If you're bad, well, don't get caught, you'll die. Welcome to Havenville, where it's safe unless you're seen, where the rules are made of velvet and the knives are in between. Come on in, the town's a haven, that's the lie we like to tell. Welcome, friend, to Havenville. Please enjoy your stay in hell. Welcome to Havenville, come and take a stroll. We've got every fight imaginable for body, heart and soul. There's laws here, just the one though. Don't fight, kill or steal,
unless you do it quietly where Barty can't see how you...
Welcome to Havenville, put your weapons down. The beholder in the top hat runs this charming little town, with a monocle of magic and 1,000 watching eyes. Mr. Barty is smiling as he maps your alibis. We've got markets in the shadows and the shadows in the square. We've got deals you'll swear are legal if you don't look over there. We've got chains and auctions whispered in a velvet tone. Property is theft, they say, then sell you someone's bones. Welcome to Havenville, pick your favorite sin. We've got pit fights in the gutter where the losers don't walk in. We've got death matches sponsored by a very friendly face. No fighting in the streets, but in the pits it's fair game. Hunters Guild for monsters, Reversers Guild for pay. We'll send you somewhere deadly, then act shocked if you don't stay. Need a sword, the blacksmith smiles. Need a drink, the tavern cheers. Need to forget your conscience, there's a brothel full of tears. We've got neighborhoods with curfews, paint your house the proper shade, or the evil HOA will fine you for the grass you didn't blade. Trim your hedges, mind your manners, don't let your gargoyle roam, or the council comes to kindly break your kneecaps with a gnome. Welcome to Havenville, where the Raven Queen resides, in a temple full of whispers and Shadarkai with hollow eyes. They'll bless you for your journey, they'll mourn you in advance. They've already booked your funeral, hope you like how it's planned. We've got secrets wrapped in secrets, deals inside of lies, contracts written in the bloodstains of 100 alibis. We've got justice with a grin, we've got mercy on display. We've got no crime allowed as long as crime looks the other way. So behave, smile wide, tip your hat to Barty's eye. If you're good, you'll be protected. If you're bad, well, don't get caught, you'll die. Welcome to Havenville, where it's safe unless you're seen, where the rules are made of velvet and the knives are in between. Come on in, the town's a haven, that's the lie we like to tell. Welcome, friend, to Havenville. Please enjoy your stay in hell. Welcome to Havenville, come and take a stroll. We've got every fight imaginable for body, heart and soul. There's laws here, just the one though. Don't fight, kill or steal,
Unless you do it quietly where Barty can't see how
Welcome to Havenville, put your weapons down. The beholder in the top hat runs this charming little town, with a monocle of magic and 1,000 watching eyes. Mr. Barty is smiling as he maps your alibis. We've got markets in the shadows and the shadows in the square. We've got deals you'll swear are legal if you don't look over there. We've got chains and auctions whispered in a velvet tone. Property is theft, they say, then sell you someone's bones. Welcome to Havenville, pick your favorite sin. We've got pit fights in the gutter where the losers don't walk in. We've got death matches sponsored by a very friendly face. No fighting in the streets, but in the pits it's fair game. Hunters Guild for monsters, Reversers Guild for pay. We'll send you somewhere deadly, then act shocked if you don't stay. Need a sword, the blacksmith smiles. Need a drink, the tavern cheers. Need to forget your conscience, there's a brothel full of tears. We've got neighborhoods with curfews, paint your house the proper shade, or the evil HOA will fine you for the grass you didn't blade. Trim your hedges, mind your manners, don't let your gargoyle roam, or the council comes to kindly break your kneecaps with a gnome. Welcome to Havenville, where the Raven Queen resides, in a temple full of whispers and Shadarkai with hollow eyes. They'll bless you for your journey, they'll mourn you in advance. They've already booked your funeral, hope you like how it's planned. We've got secrets wrapped in secrets, deals inside of lies, contracts written in the bloodstains of 100 alibis. We've got justice with a grin, we've got mercy on display. We've got no crime allowed as long as crime looks the other way. So behave, smile wide, you'll be protected. If you're bad, well, don't get caught, you'll die. Welcome to Heavenville, where it's safe unless you're seen, where the rules are made of velvet and the knives are in between. Come on in, the town's a haven, that's the lie we like to tell. Welcome, friend, to Heavenville. Please enjoy your stay in hell.
Alright,
What's the name of the airship?
the name of the airship is the Tempest. And we are live now. Alright. Size this up a little bit. And right about there.
How old is Stu? Percentage wise?
Let's say just a bit over 80.
80%?
Like, no, like 80 years old.
So that's pretty young.
Like 8, 40 years old.
Yeah, for a dwarf, that's young. But he's been sailor for 30 years, I'd say. Plenty of experience. And everything should be working properly. It's going swimmingly. Alright. So, we are a small group of adventurers in the world of Syl, well, continent of Syl. I guess we'll need to start from the top. What the aim of this stream here is to basically get people acquainted with the story so far, the adventure so far, so that way we don't need to start a new campaign. I am Lazarus, and this is actually my first time DMing a campaign. So at first we wanted to stream and record, but I wasn't confident in my abilities as a DM per se, and needed the time to adjust my skills and get ready. And well, here we are, 5 levels later, because you guys started at level 3, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say you did start us at level 3, so technically we only gained 5 levels.
Yeah, you're about to gain level 8 once you complete your long rest here.
Yeah, and to clarify, they're not experience levels, they're milestones. Yeah,
Fixed milestones. I leveled them up when I deemed
Feel like
they've
it.
earned it. Yep. Yep, when I feel like it. So far they have completely finished the Silnadria arc, which is rather short, and the Dawnsmoke arc, and have just completed the Ankhed Farmstead Hunters Guild quest. So I guess we should probably start from the top here. Where did we begin? We began in Silnadria.
So during the last session, all the players had just finished the fight
Yeah.
with that big boss, and they got brutalized during that fight. We can say that they're recovering on the airship right now, and this conversation is happening while they're all asleep.
Oh yeah, because you guys, damn near a few of you went down. one of you has like 3 HP left. You're all in a bad
3
shape.
HP at one point.
Oh yeah, you're all in
No,
real
hey.
bad shape. You need time to rest after that fight with the Onkag Broodmother. But that's just the latest journey we've had. It's been just banger after banger session every time we've played, and I figured it was about time we start sharing, because so far it's been a lot of fun. I've never had any complaints from my players. At least 5 of the 6 show up every session, which is good. It's not bad. We haven't had to cancel a session. Been pretty consistent since we began, in July? Just in late June of last year? Somewhere around that time. And we've had a session almost every week since then. I think we've missed 1 or 2 weekends because holidays.
Holidays.
Yeah. Well, I guess it all begins with a... Well, maybe I should take it to a point from before the cherub shows
Why
up.
don't you like set up the scene of storytelling? How about you start there?
Okay, well. So, how do I even begin?
So,
I think
Stu
it starts with Pyronius Maximus. Really. If we're going to go from the start of the lore here in this, it starts with Pyronius. Pyronius Mechanicus, I think his name was, who is a character in lore, but we've molded him to our story in our own way. Where instead of the Inevitables having found him and taken him away for his crimes against Mechanus, he essentially was able to cast anti-divination spells to keep him hidden. Pyronius is a... how do I put this? A clockwork lich. Somebody who has dove into the lawful neutral plane, stolen an essence of Mechanus, returned to the material plane, and turned himself into a clockwork lich. And
How did his buddies not notice that he was turning into a geek?
why are you talking like this with a
I don't know.
lisp? By the
Random
list.
nerd voice. Random nerd voice tell you.
Anything but the lisp. Oh god. So Pyronius turns himself into a clockwork lich and takes up... let's go to the world map. He takes up residence within the observatory just southeast of Dawn Castle. This took place hundreds of years ago, and here where the quest is to revive the Titan, there was a dwarven city at the end of this river, right? The main entrance is at the end of the river. Pyronius gave them the means to craft the Titan in the first place, but he also gave them additional knowledge. And when everything went wrong and the city was abandoned, eventually they established Dawn Castle outside of the mountains because they were driven from the halls of their former kingdom, of which I haven't revealed why yet. So they set up Dawn Castle and start abusing the knowledge that they were gifted by Pyronius, and this in essence starts affecting Dawnsmoke, which is under the rule of Dawn Castle. Shortly after this point, roughly 100 years ago, when Stiffbeard was ousted from power and thrown into the Slam underneath the city. So they start abusing this power that they've gained, this knowledge of Mechanus, to start crafting clockwork golems, but from flesh. Essentially taking prisoners from the Slam under the city and transporting them to the factory and turning them into construct slaves, essentially. So it starts there. So this meddling, so to speak, with Mechanus has caused, let's say, an interdimensional rift. And that allows us to explain why certain characters from other worlds are flooding in to this world. And so we turn our attention now to the Silnadria capital city. Here in the Salt Heath, a portal opens up and drops our first player character, Webb. Webb is played by Sly, who is... They've basically made a character that's supposed to be from Ultra Kill, which I haven't played that yet. But they've been sent here without knowing why, essentially. Isekai to the Dungeons and Dragons world. And so this portal opens up late at night, and people are freaking out about it because they don't know what dropped in. All they saw was something small drop out of the portal. Right? And so this little cherub is ducking and diving in the streets, hiding, not sure where that they are, until morning comes. And the King Felix sends for the Paladin, which I forget his name, was another player character that played only one session and then didn't want to play after that. That's okay. But yeah, but it is important for the story. So he gets woken up by Samiad, who will make a reappearance. Oh, his name was Air. A-Y-R-E, Air. So Air is woken up by Samiad in her cat form. She informs him the king is requesting his presence. He takes off towards the king's room, who then informs him while pounding back some turkey legs that he needs to go find out what this portal is. And in attendance is Samiad, Air, and Captain of the Guard, Felix. Captain Felix and King Felix, unfortunately, share the same name, and I'm not retconning it. So Captain Felix goes out towards Moonway Gate and checks out the brothel where our second player character, Nitra Avalar, is staying, who runs the brothel, a dragonborn hermaphrodite that caters to patrons with warlock powers. Let's let the imagination run on that one. So they go out.
Not to let the imagination run on that.
So they don't find anything out there. So Samiad, I believe, was the one that goes up to Joffrey Tart's mansion. Joffrey is our rock star bard, played by Jay here. Say hi.
Hi, this is where I come in. So I woke up. I just had a concert the night before, and I got really awakened by this by this woman who told me about this weird, mysterious storm that came the night before, and my memory of the night was hazy, if you know what I mean. I was barely conscious and barely dressed when she showed up.
You just had a rock concert the night before, right?
Yes. Hello?
He might have rocked a bit
Yeah,
too
so-
hard.
And she suspects that it was that little light was my doing, but I didn't know what I was doing right after I did my last song, and well, the rest was history.
Yeah, so they set out to go find out if they know anything from the night's previous concert. And then finally, Big Air goes into the market square looking for the cherub, which that's where they happen to be. While this is going down, I believe Mogar, our ranger, is out in the forest to the south, I think the west of town, southwest of town, because they come in through Applegate, if I remember correctly. So they come in through the southwest after running into a deer who is like melting at the seams, and when they kill it, it just melts into a black goo, everything except for the skeleton or the antlers. I think it was just the
I'd say
antlers.
more appropriate to say that it rotted into liquid rather than just melted like candy.
Yeah.
That gives a better impression of what the scene was.
So he brings in the antlers and comes in through the salt heap, runs into Nitra and Captain Felix, shows them the antlers, drops it onto the ground, and the ground is still covered in salt from it being the ass end of winter, essentially. So
They salt the streets to help keep the street from icing over.
right, so they drop the antlers into the street, and the antlers disappear into the salt and turn the salt black. It's at this time, I don't remember how the cherub is noticed, but Air ends up attacking the cherub. Everybody is in pursuit of this cherub, and it runs into Peppa Firebeard's kitchen in the back of a tavern.
I just happen to be working a couple shifts in this tavern just to earn a bit of coin.
Oh, let's bring it over to the street encounter. So this is the tavern here, and back here is where Peppa was. I believe I can bring this up in Dungeon Alchemist. I can bring this up in 3D.
You're showing your speed.
I don't care.
Well, you might get, if you ever get popular, you're going to get all the Steam invites.
I don't care. I ignore them. Send me 1,000. I'll just click ignore 1,000 times. All right. Oh, this is for later. So,
Spoiler!
city battle map. Hosts. This one's it. Alright, there we go. We have the tavern here. And here is Peppa. I can pull my Peppa. There he is. There's Peppa with his golden frying pan. That's spiced all to hell. And so Peppa...
Should I give some background for this character, or we
Absolutely. Oh, go ahead. No, we're talking about anything and everything revolving around the campaign.
Alright. So at this time, I was playing Peppa Firebeard. I am part of the Firebeard clan, and I decided to go off on my own to learn all about cooking. But my father did runs at the inn, and we had a rather big argument on what kind of food should be served in the tavern. It was of the more traditional bland sort, but I wanted to spice things up, just like my namesake. So, eventually it all came to a head whenever I created my spiciest dish yet. It was so spicy, in fact, that it ended up cursing me Pa's favorite frying pan. He threw it at me in a rage, and I took it with me on my adventures. And that's the frying pan that I currently wield down. And I happened to be stopping by in Sinandria at the time because I heard that they had some interesting salts in their mines, but I didn't know how to get down in there. So to earn a bit of coin to maintain my peace, I started working in the tavern for a couple of weeks as a chef. And that's where we're at now in this story.
Right, so Webb the Cherub runs in and takes cover in a cabinet. Peppa here is so kind that he ends up giving them some soup and some bread to go with it. They look hungry. I think they were very hungry. They're parched.
At this point in time, I am rather inexperienced in the, let's say, the lacking constitution of the less hardy folk than us dwarves. And I might have been making me dishes a bit spicier than most people can handle at the time. But I've gotten better now.
I think you were even offering that food as a challenge dish.
That was the innkeeper.
The innkeeper.
He ended up turning it into a challenge dish and made bank on that. Because when men get rowdy and drink too much, they tend to want to prove their manliness. And the innkeeper redirected that into, hey, if you want to be manly, then you can eat this dish, rather than, hey, if you want to be manly, go punch that guy in the face and start brawling. There weren't that too many tavern brawls that happened, but there were a lot of upset stomachs.
So
yeah.
So the rest of the party starts flooding in. I think at this time it was Captain Blackmane, whose airship was in port at the time. He was... Oh, he comes in later, right?
Yeah, during
During the battle.
Yeah.
Yeah, he comes in
He's
during
in
the
the area,
battle.
but he's just not around.
He was Sake was a late starter. Okay. So we have Peppa, Webb, and then Nitra comes in, and Air, and Felix, Mogar, and Jay, and Samiad. right?
Yeah, we're heading to like the town square to like investigate
And then this is
Maybe the
when
town
that
square.
session ended, and the player playing Air quit, and they were taking away for having attacked the cherub by Guard Captain Felix. So Felix, Samiad, and Air leave and go back to the castle, leaving behind Peppa, Webb, Mogar, Nitra, and Joffrey, with our 5 players.
And to clarify, this is when the player who joined the beginning of our session for like 1 or 2 sessions disappeared. It's like he attacked another person and then just never showed up again in the next session. So it's like, so we just sent his character off.
Yep, and he never returned. He's playing other D&D campaigns at this time. So after that, while we have the 5 players here, 2 of them in the kitchen and the other 3 in the tavern area, still looking for the cherub. This is when you guys start to hear the sound of the dragon fly over. Right?
So to speak, this is what happens when shit hits the fan. And it was a really big fan.
I was still barely conscious, but from like from
Still
last
dealing
night.
with the hangover. This is Joffrey here. Movar, Nitra, Webb, and
There's
Peppa.
2 webs.
Yeah, there's also 2 Peppas though.
But
They're
who are
multiplying.
you?
Who are you? It's your mirror
What do
image.
you do?
So what ends up happening from here is just a roller coaster of shit going sideways, right? The dragon flies in and starts to attack the city. You guys all come rushing out.
I was about to go into that other building, but like I didn't get conscious.
Oh,
Someone in my mind told me that we
It's
to like take the other direction.
it didn't start with the dragon. It started with the
started with the
undead
undead.
deer. There was a couple of undead deer and undead wolves.
There might have been a bear.
A bear, yep. And they were
Definitely a
all
bunch of rats.
corrupted by something. No, you can
Oh, yeah,
hear the
yeah,
rats in the sewers.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. They couldn't get out. But they were in the sewers. They were in the goddamn sewers.
They're at the walls.
You idiot! They're in the sewers.
Don't forget the crashing airship.
That happens after. Alright,
Okay.
so what we end up having is a battle ensues where they're taking on these undead
Animals.
undead animals, and Sake comes in on this session, and Sake Blackbane is given orders by the king to evacuate civilians out of the city. And he rushes in through the cathedral district and then makes his way over to the market square from there, I believe.
Yeah, I just want to point out, like, whenever we were fighting off all the undead creatures, Peppa was all alone, being a monk, and just, like, kicking ass, and then all the other player characters were all together and just getting brutalized.
So this is Joffrey's mansion over here. And then below, this is just a another tavern. And what was it? Her name? Geraldine. It's her divination business. And then the orphanage, which that'll come into play later. Here's the cathedral. So Sake rushes in, goes straight for the market district, looking for anybody on the streets first, before checking the buildings. So you guys end up rushing door to door, grabbing as many civilians as you can, including this cathedral district, and then making your way back to the blacksmith's shop, because he mentioned the tunnel under his building, and Peppa also mentioned hearing about the tunnel under the building. If I'm not mistaken, that's the reason why everybody groups up in here and then heads into the mine shaft below.
Oh yeah, well, I narrowly survived. I narrowly survived a airship crashing onto the street.
Right. Yeah, an airship crashing onto the street.
Different building, but like my inner conscious told me to like go to the blacksmith and thank Bahamut I made a decision. Though that dragon was really loud.
Yeah, so the dragon was destroying all of the airships in port, focusing on that first, and then started to focus on the castle and market districts in the center of the city, and you guys just happen to be there. So, if I'm not mistaken, even the orphanage caught on fire, and Peppa rushes in and scares the children out of the building. I remember that. Yeah, he's acting all scary and stuff. And children go running out of the building.
Didn't I get like a fucking nat 20 on intimidation?
Yeah, you rolled intimidation on the children.
Well, I'm not good with children. If I'm too nice, they get scared, so I just roll with it. Panicking children are panic on.
You even went into the cathedral where they had blockaded downstairs area, complaining about zombies and skeletons in the crypts below coming alive suddenly. And that even the priest was trapped down there, which he'll come into play later. By the way, if you weren't sure, he was actually hiding in one of the tombs. He had pulled one of the like stone tops over it and left like a little crack so he could breathe, so the zombies wouldn't get him.
It's actually pretty smart.
That's how he survived. Yeah. So he got out after another group. Let's say another group came through retroactively, because he ends up coming into play later. Because this same priest was the one who was running the orphanage across the street that had caught fire.
He abandoned the orphans?
He didn't burn the orphans, the dragon did. Hello, welcome. Who joined?
Nitro's here and Sly is here.
Oh, welcome. We're just talking about the story. So you guys end up making your way down into the tunnels, electing to try to use the mines as a means of escape, hearing that there's potentially a way out on the other side, instead of running through the city in the middle of the danger, which would have been much more difficult. I would have made that way more difficult than what you guys dealt with down.
We were suddenly orchestrating the grand exodus of Syl.
Right, so you guys make your way down here with all of the civilians that you had found in the shops, in the cathedral, all of the orphans, including little Timmy,
I even managed to get a freaking cart down this shaft, too.
And when you guys get down here, we start the next session with Felix showing up with Geraldine, the divination witch, who finally makes her first appearance. And she's holding a cloth-covered glass orb and keeping it hidden. And Felix is yelling at her for having gone out of her way for this, and it's like, what the hell is your problem? Like, yelling at her in front of everybody. And in the meantime, the rest of the party can hear the dragon upstairs trying to rip into the building to chase after Geraldine. And that's when the party goes, uh-oh, this is a problem. The dragon's starting to tunnel. He's starting to burrow. And so they start making their way quietly through the mines. And they make their way over to this door here. And they find out that there's a couple of zombies on the other side. So they trick one of the zombies into falling into the pit, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Or most of them, actually.
Yeah, that was a plan by yours truly.
Yeah, I let them get away with that one. Definitely. I set it up. So they end up here. In the center of the city is a tomb. And they walk in and they can't really understand what all of these altars are. And so Peppa dips their face into this scrying shrine. And makes a psychic connection with the spirit of a corrupted celestial, who then attempts to possess him to try to escape
just too stubborn for possession.
So they end up leaving this alone after Geraldine tells her, look, I have a way to purify the corruption that is beset upon this tomb. We'll need to find pure salt, not just any kind of like manufactured salt, and we need to find the purest of salt from the deepest part of the mines, and bless that.
We definitely didn't loot the place, because that thing moved like a damn weeping angel.
Yes, every time they blinked or no, when they were turned away, they would it would move, and if it had touched them, it would have possessed them, as any spirit would do in D&D.
Yeah.
So they leave this alone for now, closing the door behind them and heading deeper into the mine. Let's see if I can. I think this is it.
He needs a better name,
No, this is good. So they make their way down here, where they end up finding a ledger of all of the dead miners that had died to whatever corruption is deeper into the salt pits. They end up finding a couple of sticks of dynamite, which I let them have. There's a couple barrels of oil over here, a couple barrels of salt, which they then start. If I'm not mistaken, the entire time you were going through the mine shafts, you were salting doorways to keep the corrupted rats out.
Peppa was, because he just had salt on hand because he's a chef.
Right. And so from here, some giant rats attack the party. They dispatch them quickly and then use this minecart to delve even deeper into the salt pits. Where is this one? Corrupted salt pits. Alright, so from here, arrive down here and have to fight only one. I think it was a gelatinous cube.
Yeah,
But
it was
only
one
one?
gelatinous cube, and the spot. I think you said that the spots it would spawn at were random, or whichever was closest to us.
Ah,
when we
yes.
dropped down.
That's why I had 3 there to indicate spots where it would show up. This one is for a drop down spot. This one is for coming down a mine shaft via a rope, and this one is for coming down via the cart.
Peppa was the unlucky victim.
Oh, yes.
Peppa was not happy to learn that the gelatinous cubes like to eat people.
Yep.
That is not Peppa's skeleton, just to clarify.
So they dispatched that quickly. They grabbed the regular salt, which Peppa, didn't you fail several times?
No,
We're
not
breaking
talk
this
about
up.
this.
We're breaking this up.
We're not talking.
So
Yeah.
the fucking dwarf fails at a mining check with a pickaxe.
Yeah,
Couldn't
it-
even
it-
roll high. Kept rolling low.
It actually happened several times. Like I
Like
think we did
4 or
5.
5.
And he failed every single one.
And then both times that Mogar steps up to take a swing, it fucking chips immediately.
The fucking Dragonborn gets 2 successful rolls, and the dwarf fails every single one.
Shame upon you and your family.
Blessed the soul, by the way. I blessed the soul.
Yes, the cherub blesses the salt, and they put it into a glass, or that glass orb, to amplify the blessing.
Peppa got his fire salts too.
And while they were down here, Peppa is like checking out this area, and as he looks up right about here, he can find the sleeping dragon above him. And he's like, nope, I'm out, and backs out of the room, doesn't loot it.
Peppa looks up, sees the dragon, turns around, just walks straight out the door and just gently closes it. Like, that'll be another dwarf's problem.
That's a future me problem.
That's future Peppa's problem. Lucky for Peppa, he's a pretty good problem solver.
Peppa was the star of the show for this whole Sonaldria arc here.
Sorry. I got my
That's why they're picking on Peppa for failing that mining so much, because they're jealous that Peppa is good at everything else. The
Don't get
world
me-
had to nerf Peppa somehow.
Don't get me started on the time my jacket got ruined by like the remains of a slime.
You're complaining about a jacket. Peppa got swallowed entirely by a gelatinous
If
cube.
I'm not mistaken, one of you had gathered some of that acidic slime up for an acid. Yeah, you use that later, if I'm not mistaken. So after finding Shiomori sleeping, the party heads back up, and they move on to try to get out. They run into a couple of hobgoblins, dispatch them quickly as I think one of you threw fire at this platform, and I allowed you to get away with it to burn that down and burn him down, which worked
Nice,
great.
man.
Yes, that was a good tactic. I thought that was fun. Dispatches them quickly, finds out that they've been pulling people and chopping them up for food. And then they find this safe space here after clearing the tunnel, and then try to quietly lead all of the civilians out all the way to this area with the crystal. And
That's when Peppa gets a brilliant idea.
yes, so they roll out one of these barrels of oil here. They take the dynamite that they had grabbed from earlier. They grab as many nails, pieces of metal, spikes, whatever they can, and they fashion a bomb, which they tie to a rope and hang it just above Shiomori where he's sleeping. And to add...
The crawl was the purified salt crystals.
Yes, so they bless another set of salts and slap the crystal on the bottom of it. So the first thing to hit the dragon would be the purifying salts. Oh, we're missing a part of the story. You guys went back all the way back up to the tomb, purified the celestial within, retrieved the loot from the loot room, and released the celestial, who then proceeds to tell you that she is the bride of the dragon who's attacking the city. And his name is Shiomori.
Yeah, why are women always falling for dragons? That's so weird.
It's celestial. So, you guys lead her. You lead her and the civilians out, and then Peppa stays back to detonate the bomb, and runs like hell outside.
So yeah, I believe I used a fuse that was 2 minutes long.
Yeah, you had to use all of your fuse length for it.
And I ended up running so quick because I'm a fucking monk and I move like the wind. I got out there, I think, like under a minute. And it was like right after the party had gotten out. And they're like, did you even light the fuse? And so they had like a brief argument and like, I definitely did it.
Right, so it detonates, they all get out. They send the civilians running as Shiomori burrows his way out, busts out of the ground, badly damaged. Not able to complete a long rest. I made, if I'm not mistaken, I made a stat sheet for him. 2 stat sheets. We'll get into that real quick. If I can find it. Here was the stat block I ended up using. This is completely homebrew. So this was the weakened stat block that they got from having hit him with the purifying salts.
It was super effective.
Super effective, yeah. They beat him in 3 or 4 rounds.
We beat him like a fucking drum.
Under 30 seconds.
Yes, it was all thanks to me.
With the coup de grace being a spear from the bard to the eye of the dragon.
Don't quit bragging, you hit in the bush for the entire combat. Through one spear
and spear was the final hit. He gets the kill because he got the final hit. So you guys end up defeating the dragon, and he melts away into the black corrupted salt, and out pops a small desert rose ent.
Bonsai.
Like a little bonsai sized ent, yeah. And the celestial, who's also is named Desert Rose, she picks up the small ent and is caring for him with a small bag full of soil. And he has one little desert rose flower to indicate he has 1 HP. You hit him with anything, he's dead. So
now he's just a hidden side character.
Yes.
Blending in with the party.
He currently is up on board the Tempest with Desert Rose caring for him. He's got about 20 flowers upon his head. He's a little bit bigger than he was. Needs time to grow. Hens take a long time to grow. But he's got 20 HP, 20 flowers. Yep. And so from here, the party heads north away from the Battle of Sinadria as an army is marching in. And
yeah, we kicked that dragon's ass, and then not even 5 minutes later or whatever, we come to learn that maybe that dragon wasn't that much of a dragon.
that was just the first wave, essentially, was a single dragon set upon the city.
Wasn't even a real dragon.
Was not a real dragon. No, this was a corrupted ent.
God.
Corrupted by we'll call them the 3 dragons of annihilation. And he was supposed to be the 4th, which was pestilence, the corruption of salt, the corruption of purity. Where salt usually purifies things, he was meant to be the ultimate corruption of that purity. Corrupted for his love. Yeah, his love of Desert Rose, the Celestial, was driving him mad, and they abused that to transform him into what he became. For he lived here in a place called the Salt Forest, which in our lore was a forest that Shiomori ruled, and it was destroyed because of his love for Desert Rose by a jealous water elemental who sent a tsunami upon the land. And the earth elementals rose these mountains in response to protect the rest of the land. And that's how that mountain range came to be. This mountain range is about 1,000 years old at this point, a millennia old. Desert Rose had been she had been kept down there for 1,000 years under the city, and Shiomori was wallowing in sadness here in the Salt Forest for 1,000 years. So those 3 dragons of annihilation took advantage of that and changed him into what he became. And you guys purified him of that. You kicked his ass, but not only that, you purified him, you purified his bride, and brought them back together. And there may be a chance for the Salt Forest yet, which the party has been given a quest by Desert Rose to bring her and Shiomori back to the Salt Forest so that she can replant him in the soil and bring life back to that place.
We'll get around to it eventually.
Eventually. So, wow, that is covering, like, I think, I'd say quite a few sessions in. I'm going to be switching my mic over to a different one, so if you all don't mind if my mic quality suddenly changes, because I'm going to go outside for a minute while I talk.
Check, check. Alright, there we go. And change this one over here. Check, check. There we go. Alright, so this is where it gets kind of funky, if I remember.
Yeah, right after we kick one dragon's ass, another one pops up and just wrecks the whole city. Like you're throwing a temper tantrum.
The aspect of Tiamat shows up and poetically annihilates the city and whoever was left in it.
And now you know why it's called the Ruins of Sinadria and not just Sunadria.
Sinadria was destroyed. King Felix and his entourage, as well as the party, make their way north to towards Dawnsmoke to seek shelter.
They tried to throw a whole army at us, and we still made it.
Yeah, so whatever Tiamat doesn't destroy, the army goes in and cleans it out completely. And then they're marching towards Dawnsmoke. King Felix and his army takes position just north of the river, crosses the only bridge that crosses this river. And this bridge is fully made of stone, very sturdy, but it is the only way in towards Dawnsmoke and past the northern mountains. So this is their essentially their equivalent of a Thermopylae. Their hold so they can hold this with very minimal manpower, but they have a good portion of their army available. It's at this time that I think Joffrey runs off to check on his parents with Captain Felix, and they find that the house is trashed. Joffrey's parents have been kidnapped, and a single note was left behind, not for Joffrey, but for guard Captain Felix, he had been protecting the family for a long time from the bandits and slavers of the area.
Just as if that we couldn't get any worse.
So they end up going back to the camp. They end up getting they end up talking with guard Captain Felix as well as King Felix, and King Felix inducts everyone into the Knights of Sinadria. The Knights of Sil. The first knighthood of Sinadria, which spells out FKRS, and they are now known as the Fuckers. I didn't notice it. One of them pointed it out. I was like, oh, that's too perfect.
I'm the one who pointed it out.
Yeah,
I noticed it immediately.
yeah, you guys are the Fuckers now. The first knighthood regiment of Sinadria.
The funny thing is that the way I pointed out is like I thought you did that intentionally.
No.
And so I went like, yeah, we're just a bunch of fuckers. And you didn't even notice it immediately. I had to make the joke several times, and then you were like, wait a minute. You're like, why do you keep calling us fuckers? Like, wait a minute, now I get it.
So the king allows the party to borrow some horses, of which they then take off on an obvious trail that were left behind by the slavers. There ends up being a storm because I started at this point rolling weather rolls. For each roll, the higher it rolls, the worse the weather gets. So it just happened to be a pretty bad storm with wind and rain whipping about while they step across obvious traps laid for them by drow slavers. They make their way towards a hill, playing cat and mouse with the drow for quite a bit before finally taking off full sprint on their horses towards a mooring line that held an airship to the ground. They were anchored, so the party ends up climbing the anchor after having knocked the drow down and slowing them down from stopping them. It was basically a chase scene, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And they were able to shadow step because of the storm, because it was dim light. So they're shadow stepping, keeping up with you guys. Yeah, that was fun. That was a fun chase. With traps laid right on the path. You guys were dodging them left and right. Meanwhile, firing bow from horseback, while Sake is blasting off with his pistol.
He's not Team Rocket.
So you guys end up climbing the rope. The drow, one of you shoots the harpoon at the front of the ship at the drow down below. They start climbing the rope. You wait until they're about almost all the way up, and then you cut the rope and watch them drop dead to the ground. Because they were a little strong for you guys. That's why I let that happen. And again, at the time, wasn't really confident in my abilities as a DM. So I wanted you guys to kind of get away with a role play. That was fun. You guys end up finding Joffrey's parents in the hold of the ship, as well as a hiding drow lieutenant, a young man with no name. Never gave you guys his name. And you all take him prisoner. He ends up telling you how to wake them up. Mix the proper amount of waking potion to like water to dilute it, and it's like basically a stimulant. Give them too much, their heart explodes, kind of thing. And I made you all roll a medicine check to see how well you mix it, and you did well, and woke up Joffrey's parents. You end up bringing them back to the city, and then learn. You go back to the camp, and you learn that some of the orphans are missing, and nobody's been watching them closely enough. So you run off to go find them, as well as the blacksmith's kids. The blacksmith in Dunsmoke's kids. And you bring them back, but not before finding a fool's lamp buried in the wall the kids were trying to hide.
So for those of you non-D&D players who don't know what a fool's lamp is, picture Aladdin's magic lamp. Now replace the genie with fuck you spells every time you try to make a wish.
So
And
they
that's a fool's
they
lamp.
think it's a regular genie's lamp. They bring it back to the king, and the king rubs it to try to make a wish. And I can't remember what he wished for, but the fool's lamp activated, and the spell was for him to float up into the air. And it took two of you grabbing onto him to try to like slow him down and like safely bring him back down with flight spells, draconic flight and shit like that. Featherfall, draconic flight, I think, were combined. And you bring the king safely back down, preventing his death, thankfully. And so, if I'm not mistaken, it's around this time that he gives you, either, I think before this, when he originally inducted you into the Knights, he gave you guys 3 treaties. One for Mount Grushmore, one for Dust Castle, and one for Dawn Castle. All 3 of which are the other countries, capital cities, to the west, to the northwest, and to the northeast of your current location, and tells you that they are to uphold this treaty as long as King Felix and his lineage lives. They are to come into defense of this army, right? So they're to uphold these treaties that they signed long ago. And so you guys were given your main quest. Bring forth an army to deal with the armies of Tiamat. Also around this time that Bahamut flies in, fights off Tiamat, and chases her south across the desert. And you guys don't see the battle that happens between the two of them. So these are the aspects, not the actual Tiamat, not the actual Bahamut. These are their aspects fighting. And so only Sinadria gets affected because they are in the way of the army on the way to get through Dawnsmoke, the Dawnsmoke Pass. So I don't think you guys end up doing anything else outside the city other than you run across the snake in the lake, the giant snake, make friends with him, and you ask him to assist you in any battles that may happen along the river's edge, which comes into play later. You guys head into the city, and I think at this point I should switch over to the city map. And this is where the majority of our latest sessions have taken, is all within this city. So around this time, I think we were about 10 sessions in, and the last 20 to 25 sessions have all been this area of Dawnsmoke. That's a little easier on the eyes, doing the nighttime one. However, I do need the daytime one, because that's where all our notes are. Okay, so you guys head into the city. I believe Nitra goes down an alleyway to talk to two miscreants and meets Ghost and Razor, who are part of the Thieves Guild here, and they end up going in, bringing just Nitra in, and he meets Miss Adrienne Darting, the leader of the Thieves Guild in this town. And she informs him of a quest that she wants him to do for information that he may want, and she tells him to loot the vault under Lord Jetbeard's manor, and Lord Jetbeard is the current mayor, let's say mayor of the city, I'd say. Ruler of the city, because Dawnsmoke is a city under the rule of Dawn Castle at this time. Blackmane, played by Sake, goes over to William the Watchmaker's place and also gets some information from there. I can't remember what. I'm going to need help with the city part here, because there was so much that happened here. I need your guys' help on this one. There's a lot that happened in Dawnsmoke. That's where everything that took place before where we're about to set off from took place, was in this city. This was like everything. The last like 4 months.
So yeah, like Joffrey wanted to do a band thing, or like a concert thing to make money.
Yes, a charity concert people of Solandia.
Yeah, and Peppa decided to do the catering there and make a shit ton of money. I think Nitro was going to solicit guests with her services.
Never took off, by the way.
Yeah, she got too distracted by
Guys went to Jetbeers to actually negotiate with him too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, she talked to two spies in her network.
The spies in her network would have been Vistarding and Ghost and Razor.
Yeah, she got in contact with them and learned that maybe, we need to get the mask, all that. And then in the process of getting the mask, we learned that things might not have been so on the straight and narrow. And we ended up meeting with your canon character Lazarus or whatever in the campaign.
Yeah, Lazarus is a guard for Pyronius. Works directly under Pyronius. With her robo dog named Rover? I think I called him Rover. There's a little guy named Gizmo who's their messenger that runs around giving people
Rover
letters.
is a robot dog.
Yeah, he is a brass clockwork dog with the ability to detect interdimensional anomalies, which when they do meet in the tavern, the dog locks on to web.
Well, you're borging up. Hang on,
Yep.
you're borging up. If you're gonna stream, you need that good audio quality.
All right, well, help me out with the story some more.
We end up meeting with this Lazarus chick, and she's like, "Hey, there's some issues in this town. I can show you proof, but I need your help. If you'll meet me here at this time, we'll go do it." And we end up agreeing. And then we were like, "Okay, we'll meet you there, but we've got a prior engagement to do first," which ended up being that whole concert thing. So we go do the concert thing. Peppa is having fun doing the catering. He reintroduces his spice challenge. Be like, "Hey, pay 2 gold and challenge your manliness," and he fucking makes bank on that. Like, everyone is getting drunk, seeing this, and like, I'm man enough, and just they're not man enough. They're not even close to man enough. You gotta be dwarf enough. But he makes money doing that. Nitro was supposed to solicit people to make money on Smex, but ends up just like running around the whole mansion, spying and doing a heist. And during the heist, Nitro finds a ledger that has a rather suspicious list and accounting that hints at some rather nefarious misdeeds being led by Jetbeard. What's Jetbeard's first name?
Gary.
Gary Jetbeard.
Gary. It's because he's supposed to be Peppa's rival, and I made him named Gary for a Pokemon reference because I'm stupid.
He was a shit rival, that's for damn sure. Gary Jetbeard ended up being rather evil in all intents and purposes of that word. From this ledger, we learned that he had been taking people from the Slam, which is like a super jail under the city where we send people. We send people for life sentences because if they got actually killed, there might be wars. So this is where the Slam is where they end up being sent. This is for murderers in a powerful clan, political prisoners from a clan war or other thing. They all end up getting sent to the Slam. It turns out that maybe some of these arrests might not have been as legitimate as they could have been. And according to this ledger, some of these prisoners are being moved from the Slam into the factory. Dun dun dun! So I'm like, what is going on here?
Dun dun dun.
So Nitra decides to take things into her own hands and starts fucking knocking out the power of the whole mansion, like knocking out the generators. Ends up doing it twice because the servants are just too damn adept at just working on the generator and fixing it up again and getting the power going. So the second time she just blew it up.
He cut the belt and they just replaced it.
Yeah. he took the belt off and they're like, oh, we just got a spare right here, throw it on. And back in 5 minutes, and she's like, shit. And she just ends up blowing up the whole thing instead.
No, Nitra hits it with an eldritch blast, electrical.
That's what it was.
And it overpowers the coil. The coil. And it makes the engine go faster than it should, creating a pressure buildup, which makes it explode, catching fire to the side of the building, which quickly is put out, but Nitra was caught in the blast and got tinnitus from that.
Nitra already had tinnitus. It just got mildly cured and then
the original tinnitus was from the battle against the undead deer. Because Webb did a thunderclap next to their ear and blew out the windows and the door.
So I don't know if you mentioned this during the entire campaign, but Webb is a cherub, which is like 1 foot tall or something, and spends 95% of their time in Nitra's cleavage. And that is where they cast the thunderclap from.
Move up my phone.
So yeah, Nitra had really bad tinnitus. Started to get it cured, and then that explosion happened, and they rolled bad, and that restarted their tinnitus.
Yes.
But that's a lot of words for thing go boom. So yeah. So yeah, Nitra blew up the fucking generator, which blew the power out of the mansion entirely. At that point, we just said, fuck it, and Nitra went and brainwashed the mansion guy and got his coin or signet ring. He got his signet ring and then absolutely violated poor Harry Jetbeard. I say poor, but he actually deserved it. But like, you can't do all of that with tentacles and not come out sane afterwards. I'm not going to go into detail, but the room was a mess. There were loud noises. People were traumatized.
You hit him with a potion of LSD.
I was doing my
I ruined his beard.
Oh, no, you put fucking LSD in his beer and pretended to be a dwarven maid in disguise. With
and
disguise
then you became an eldritch abomination and just violated him through every orifice. So yeah.
God dang it.
So, for reference, the LSD I found next to the ledger in his office, so he was already
And there's
doing
also
shit.
a bottle of meth, which you used later on a Froghemoth.
No, I think you were.
No, I still have the meth one. The Froghemoth,
Nope.
I gave the rest of the LSD.
No, no, I'm pretty sure you gave him the meth one.
No, you had
No,
meth.
you said not to do that because they're just making me angrier. Checking my inventory.
Okay, well, I guess he still has a bottle of meth. Oh no.
Yeah, I still have it.
Magic,
He had
magic
crap,
potion.
Wasn't it?
My entire plan with that was to throw it at that. I'm not. You know what? I'm not going to say anymore because we haven't got to that part of the story yet.
If you drink the whole bottle, you get double your HP temporarily, but your heart explodes an hour later.
Yeah, but anyways, shenanigans happened. People got traumatized. Nitra ended up raiding, completely depleting Jetbeard's entire personal vault. Didn't leave a fucking copper behind. We were fixing to leave the mansion when in pops a new player to the game. Nitro, you want to talk about this unknown entity of massive importance?
What, Stu?
No. Stu's a fucking quartermaster. I'm talking about the dude who fireballed the mansion.
Oh, during the concert.
Yes.
Toki. Yes, our BBG makes his appearance.
No future knowledge, just what we experienced at the time.
Yeah, a young boy with
Yeah.
who
So-
gives an aura of just I'm better than you.
Casual menace.
Yes.
So, Nitra had just violated the man, Jetbeard, and then gone and emptied out his vaults. And Peppa ends up meeting this weird-looking, slightly chubbed child, and has the most awkward conversation about the importance of the greater good, or whatever, I guess. I don't know. Peppa might have been slightly drunk. He tends to taste the merchandise while he works. Not much, but just enough to get a slight buzz. But this conversation kind of went over his head.
I think this conversation took place around here. Or over here. I think it was over here. Because you were... Peppa was cooking. Oh yeah, Peppa was catering. In the middle of you catering, he walks up and grabs a turkey leg and starts talking to you.
Yeah, I think he just steals it, and then Peppa's annoyed, like, you're supposed to pay for that.
No, the payment for the food was in the entrance fee.
Oh yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah.
So he was just being an ass.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Peppa, of course, he doesn't retaliate, but he stands up for himself at least, and Kelki doesn't like that. And rather than continue the conversation, Peppa's looking at this tiny kid and like, it's just not worth it. And just like, and just like, and basically ends the conversation as quick as he can. That is not Jetbeard. that was my creation, and then people started doodling on it. it was the Pikachu, and then we're like, I think we were talking about kobolds and shit, so I ended up changing the mouth to a kobold mouth, and then everyone started doodling shit on it. It's like, this is a violation to the original artist's intent. Anyways, to continue, Kelki goes and fucks off and ends up talking to someone else, Mogar, I think. And then, just fucking out of nowhere, fireballs the mansion because he wants to kill Jetbeard.
Jetbeard's passed out in his room.
Yeah, he just passed out in his room, and then Kelki fireballs the opposite end of the mansion, and like, yeah, the fire will reach him and kill him. Not even caring that other people are in there and dying. Like, you could have killed one dude, but you did the most lazy, lackluster
This was
response.
after the party as people were leaving.
Yeah, things were wrapping up, yeah.
Yes.
And that is when everyone discovers that stuff happened to Jetbeard. People have their suspicions. No one wants to picture what happened because it looked that awful. One person got intimidated by a ghost, which turned out to be Nitro just hiding in a dark, shadowy corner and using Mage Hand to play
didn't
the
just
piano.
intimidate them. I made them piss themselves.
What was the song you made the mage hand play on the piano?
Toccata and Fugue.
Right.
Like Bach, and it was just a pair of floating, glowing hands
Yes.
playing the piano.
Never
pissed
mind the
himself
fact that
right
you
out.
had no talent in playing an instrument, but suddenly your mage hands could.
I rolled a nat 20, okay?
So you ended up going downstairs into the vault where you found Stu. And this was during the party, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the party was
So-
still going on outside.
You found Stu down here being kept in one of the cells under there, and you let him go and tell him that he's to serve you. You end up bringing him out and set him off towards a tavern for the night and gave him enough food, money for food and drink, and then proceed further down into this trapped area, flying right over the pressure plates and not getting caught on fire, and then
Dragonborn go burr.
flying right over this and not getting hurt because Dragonflight is some bullshit. Getting in here, provoking the living armor, and then baiting them out here into the pit. And then it closes up each time after it opens, and they're trapped down there, stuck between the spikes and the wall, and proceed to loot the room, finding various weapons.
Did you explain how you got your golems got outsmarted?
They're not very high intelligence. They're literally magically animated, so that
Yeah, but
they
you
would fall
wanted
for
this
that.
badass battle, and then Nitro just...
I rained on Lax's parade by drinking them into the trap.
I didn't think he'd do that.
Just-
I didn't think he'd do it. What a bitch move!
To be honest, if
Hey,
it had been
it
me
was
in the
effective.
situation, I would have done the same thing. I was already
Me too.
thinking of
Me
it
too. I would
before
have done
the
it too.
statue's even animated.
And he was like, one of these is gonna be a mimic. I still haven't set a
What?
mimic upon them.
No, he crossed the pit trap right in front of the vault door, and my brain was already going, if there is some sort of entity in here, I would lure it across the pit and then make it follow.
Yep. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
So you loot this for like tens of
5,000
thousands
gold, if I
of
remember
gold.
correctly.
No, it
10,000
was like
actually.
it's like somewhere in the range of 10 to 20,000 gold on the roll table. It was a lot. You got lucky on the roll. You guys keep getting lucky on the fucking random loot tables. Can't even with these loot tables. These motherfuckers get lucky. And I base it off of CR level too. So the lower the CR that you're fighting, the better the loot. And this was like super low CR.
If I'm not mistaken, this is also where we got the Realms Warden Great Axe.
No, you got that aboard the Tempest when you captured it from those Drow slavers, bringing that back to the city. That's right. And then you parked that in the airship port, and the dwarves there started working on it for you. So from there, you guys head back up. You inform. I don't think you inform anybody yet, but you end up meeting up with the.
I meet up with Knight Commander Felix and let him know, hey, this dude is doing an illicit slave trade.
Right, and then you meet up with Breezy right after that and head towards the factory.
Right.
Where we had that really sentimental moment with the factory workers as you guys went in there and they started singing the workers' song. It was a beautiful moment.
I have to step away for a couple minutes, take care of some stuff. I'll be back in a little bit.
Alright.
Nitra, help out Laz with his narration.
Yes, please. So you guys end up going to the factory. I don't have a map for that. That was all in the realm of imagination. Where you guys dove in there. Peppa was pissed. He ended up beating the absolute snot out of some of the guys. We really should wait for Peppa for this part. But you guys ended up using, what was it, a nearby clock tower to throw a hook with a rope across towards the factory rooftop and use that to climb across. And I did some encounter rolls to see if any of the construct guards of the city were able to see you, and you got lucky. None of them saw a damn thing.
Wait, I don't remember this.
So, hello, Jazzy Flame. Nice to see you there in chat.
Alright, and then what else? There was quite a few things.
Oh.
You guys
I
snuck
think I
in.
scared them.
You snuck into the factory and you went down into the basement area where you found a hallway full of closed doors and could hear like screaming from within. And you proceed to take out the night guards at the factory, and Peppa gets a moment alone with the factory manager in his office. Factory manager pulls out a revolver. Peppa deflects a shot from the gun and redirects it, because he is a monk, back into the fucking back into the opposing dwarf, and takes his revolver from him, shoots him in the other leg, then tells them to give him the keys, gets the keys, and then blows the fucking dwarf's head off right there. The rest of the party is just like, God, there's a lot of noise going on in there. I hope Peppa's okay. Peppa comes out with like 2 or 3 bullets left and just executes the rest of the night guard. And then they find in in those 20 or something doors a horrific sight of like brass magic circles used to transform flesh into mechanical gears made of brass, using this magic from Mechanus to essentially corrupt the flesh into clockwork. And then they turn them into clockwork golems and then send them off to Dawncast. They'll be used as troops on the battlefield, or as guards in Dawnsmoke, or to be sold off to other countries. So they're, and again, these people are prisoners of the Slam underneath Dawnsmoke. I have a map for this area. Here's the Slam. So the Slam is this like supermax prison, and that's set in the aquifer under the city in the Upper Dark. You see a Drider run past them on the walls and everything. So they find these people in various states of being changed, and find the ones who haven't had the ritual cast upon them yet, and release them. The rest of them they leave to the city guard to deal with. Well, the city paladins, because the guard golems cannot be trusted. The only guards in the city are the paladins and the golems. And so once they dive further into the factory, they find a door that leads to an underground tunnel. That tunnel leads under the entirety of the city, towards the center of the city, towards the Slam. And they arrive down here at this dock. They head across and they meet Stiffbeard's wife smoking on a pipe of monsters on the other side. They end up going inside and meeting the former king of Dawnsmoke, Johnny Stiffbeard, an old dwarf, too old to sire any new children and no heirs left. Ousted from a power 100 years ago by Jetbeard, and tells his story to the party, and they send a message back to General Victor and King Felix through some sending stones, telling them about what's going on down here, that like 90 to 95% of the people down here are all political prisoners for trying to speak up about the atrocities happening at the factory. And so they send a note up with a bat towards the paladins and causes an absolute ruckus in the upstairs paladin headquarters. And they get the note. General Victor and guard captain Felix end up showing up at the paladins headquarters upstairs. They have a meeting upstairs and then head down via a single elevator tied to metal chains. And they come down here, they talk to the party and some of the prisoners, and they bring the party back up with the evidence from the Jetbeard's mansion, and from what they've learned from Stiffbeard, they bring Stiffbeard back up as well as his wife, and then proceed to head back to the manor, and Stiffbeard kicks in the door, wave in the 4-4. I'm kidding. Stiffbeard kicks in that damn door and proceeds to beat the absolute shit out of Jetbeard. They take, the Paladins take Jetbeard into custody, and Stiffbeard returns to power within Dawnsmoke, and takes the ring that commands the golems from Jetbeard. Shortly after this, the party had headed back to the castle. They head back to the castle, which is also a temple, and Stiffbeard names Miss Adrian Dartine, King Felix, and the dragon Wan Shi Tong as their as co-rulers. For when he dies, he does not have anyone to carry forth his rule, so he wanted to pick a multi-racial set of council members to rule the city after he dies. And so Stiffbeard ruled side by side with these 3 others. And so in order to release the political prisoners and keep the citizens of Sinadria safe, the refugees from the destroyed city, they need to reclaim a not lived-in district named Haunted Hill, which has been walled off for a long time. And the party elects to dive in, clear out the Haunted Hill district, and then allow the Paladins to make it further safer afterwards for the citizens of Sinadria, the refugees, as well as the released political prisoners from the Salam to have a place of residence, at least for the time being, while the city is under siege from the south by the army of Tiamat. So Felix's army stands firm to the south at the river. We return to the royal map here. So Felix's army stands firm here at the river, at their little Thermopylae, so to speak, of this bridge, to hold off Tiamat's army to the south. And they will hold position there until the party completes the first part of the main quest, which is the getting the 3 trees out there. This is not time-based, this is event-based, so it depends on what they complete in the story, not how long time has passed. So it's more open. They're not pressured to go anywhere in particular. They can go do whatever they want in this world. And I've given them plenty to do around here, as you can see. So we dive into, where is it? Haunted Hill. And this was quite an interesting battle. Was Val back yet? Yo, Sly, Nitra, Jay, can you all help me with this story here with Haunted Hill? Because I was a big one. That lasted at least 5 sessions, maybe 7.
Okay, so, but when we got to the cathedral, right, Joffrey, got kidnapped in his sleep. And he got replaced by a by what?
Oh yes!
Inkling.
Oh yeah, we can't forget this. So you guys were in the Library of Wan Shi Tong, which was the converted throne room inside of the castle, correct?
Yeah.
And while you were in there, someone snuck into the window, knocked out Joffrey, and kidnapped him, and replaced him with a doppelganger. Because he was all by himself in the library.
Yeah, like, and nobody noticed until, like, what, we defeated that elemental?
Yes. So while you guys were in the castle, I think shortly after the events at the factory and the slam, there was a great storm that swept through the area, bring along with it the random spawn of the Elder Tempest, and with that comes in the Aarakocra, chasing it, hunting it down from the elemental plane of air. And they're chasing down this Elder Tempest as a hunting party, and that brings in Unk Sawam, right? That was his first. Well, he didn't appear during that battle,
No,
right?
he was like supposed to be. He was like a bit too late to the party. Like he appeared like the morning after.
Yeah, he appeared after his leader had gotten killed during the battle with the Elder Tempest.
Yeah,
The other Aarakocra were forced to throw fire, like, I think, like 15, like, something in the range of 15 fireballs they threw.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took a lot
that's
to like, drive off the Elder Tempest. But it was only like a 5 to 7 round battle. Guys, while the storm was happening, you were hearing someone chanting over the wind, and someone standing on top of a mountain, and it looked like the form of Kelki summoning the Elder Tempest. And as you get up there in an attempt to fight him, you turn out it's a facade. It's an illusion that's being cast by a necromage up there. I can't remember what the fuck it was. But then, as this is happening, you see Kelki's forces rush forward in the first wave of battle down by the river. And you see the snake from the lake that you guys befriended attempting to destroy the wooden bridges that Kelki's forces were using to cross the river. And after defeating the necromage, or during you attempting to defeat him, the Elder Tempest shows up, the ritual having completed. And it ends up with you guys winning hands down because you had the Aarakocra hunting party on your side, throwing fireballs left and right as a group, hitting it with blast after blast to drive it off. And in comes Ankh Sawam, who is one of the last surviving Aarakocra hunting party, and his goal is to either kill the hunt the Tempest and kill it, or never return to the elemental plane of air again, or dishonor. He is a paladin after all. He must bring the Tempest justice for slaying his brothers, right? And then after driving off the Tempest, you guys head back in. You meet up with Felgalos atop the rooftop. And Felgalos is a brass dragon who had been infested with some, what's it called?
False scales.
False scales, yeah. Oh, I used quite a few monsters from the YouTube channel called Mithril Canvas. We're not sponsored by them, but give them a check. Some very, very good custom monsters to play with, and quite a few I'm using in this campaign, including the False Scales, the Archer Drakes, the Parliament Dragon, and the Crowfather. Crowfather, that was it. But yeah, not sponsored by them, but definitely check out Metro Cannabis. That's a good one. Can you all hear me still?
Yes.
Alright, so Miss Audrey Darding eventually revealed to you guys that she was actually Morgan, the daughter of Baba Yaga. And she wanted you guys to dive into Haunted Hill and not just cleanse it, but to kill her Night Hag sisters who were corrupting the district in the first place. So she was giving you the quest to kill the source, essentially.
Conveniently, they were holding it hostage.
They were holding Joffrey hostage, and that's why he was changed. He has now since changed to Ankh Sawam, his Aarakocra paladin. Which is funny, because it's a play on words for Uncle Sam, and his entire armor that he had me made in Hero Forge is like all America themed, but he's a Brit.
Well, it could also be like Crystal Palace themed.
And
Because
no,
they wear red and white. Because they also wear red, white, and blue, and like have
you
a
are an
and a
eagle named Uncle Sam,
Yes.
buddy.
Yes, I use current events as a inspiration.
Oh, I fucking love it. So dumb. Ankh Sawam. So Ankh Sawam joins the party to help find Joffrey. And to help take down the Night Hags and to cleanse the district. And oh, if I'm not mistaken, Bella makes her appearance just before that during the Elder Tempest battle, if I'm correct, right? She breaks her axe and Peppa throws her the Realm Sword and great axe that he had. And so he has to play Schizo as two different characters at that time. And then when Ankh meets Joffrey, Jay here had to play Schizo for a little bit.
You sound familiar. Something like that. And we were about to like what to have. And we basically planned on like what have like one of us like try to carry Joffrey all the way back,
Right.
like but like we conveniently remembered that we had like a teleporting feather. To
Yeah,
bring it back
and
out.
it was a gift to you given by Wan Shitong, Parliament Dragon. And so you guys used the feather to get Joffrey the heck out of there. And then shortly after that, you meet up with Baba Yaga after defeating a couple Banderhobbs, some scarecrows and shadows and all that other stuff. And you meet up with them. And you eventually meet Meep as well, who is our newest player, played by our Kitty. We'll just call her Kitty for now. And then they are a warlock. What was it? It's not a wolf, but I think a shifter, a cat shifter, cat shifter. I don't fucking know. They look like a tabaxi.
I think I forgot to mention on the spear deck
Yeah. So, I think just before the mansion episode, we had teleported the web using a skill of teleportation given to him by a white dove to the White Oak, of which he was then met by Gabriel, who then proceeded to allow Webb to pull the Spear of Destiny from the White Oak.
Ariel.
Uriel. Ah, yeah. Uriel. Uriel had Webb pull the Spear of Destiny from the White Oak, and then the White Oak then reverted back into the form of Asmodeus. And it was at this time that Uriel revealed that Asmodeus had been ousted from power by Kelki, the young boy who had set fire to the mansion, and who was leading the forces against King Felix's army.
There was also other parts where Ariel told me a couple of things. I don't know if I'm allowed to say it.
Yes, go ahead. No, tell. Asmodeus even gifted you the pen of Asmodeus, which allows you to call on him by writing with blood.
Yep, in common. And then I found out from earlier that that apparently the universe is their universe is unstable due to the fact that
With Pyronius. Well, he messed up by trapping Asmodeus and by stabbing him with the Spear of Destiny and petrifying him.
Yeah.
And the world is further messed up by Pyronius having taken power from Mechanus. And now, because of Pyronius, what Pyronius has done, Kelki was able to leak through and had taken over in the Nine Hells in Asmodeus's absence.
Yes.
And Uriel reveals this as his greatest mistake. It is, this is the reason the world is the way it is.
Yep. And so basically, my characters, lore-wise, shouldn't even be there in the first place. Basically, I'm like an anomaly.
Yes. That's how we explain not from this world characters.
Yeah. And then also figured out that every quote unquote god is really just a deity. There's also that.
And that your one true god, Ao, who is supposed to be God, was split into 4.
Yes.
And one of those 4 is Asmodeus, another is Tiamat, another is Bahamut, and the 4th is not relevant because they're not part of the story. They rule from Celestia.
Right.
But the relevant ones are Asmodeus, also known as Ahriman, in his true form, Bahamut, who appears as an elderly old wizard, and Tiamat, who hasn't revealed her human aspect yet.
Right.
And that brings about the balance of the 4 from lawful good, lawful evil, chaotic evil, and chaotic good. Chaotic good being the one that you don't have to deal with.
Yep. And then I think that's where I'm at with that storyline. So yeah, and then you can continue on with the.
Well, help me out a little bit here. So earlier I was talking about Fogelos, the brass dragon infested with the false scales, who you guys saved, right? And he offered Peppa a single teleportation to Greshmore so he could go help his family, because his family had fallen into the mine shaft below Greshmore, and now he needed to rule because he was the last surviving one in the current lineage of power. So he needed to go back and take his seat for this as the Firebeard clan leader.
Right.
So that ends up happening shortly after the Haunted Hill arc, where you guys dive in, you take on all of these Bannerhogs and Shadows and Pumpkinhead and Scarecrows, Revenants and Demon Shadows, fucking. Then there's
a giant ass frog.
Giant ass
One.
Froghemoth, you
Yep.
know, and then you end up making your way to the cathedral section of this district and find out that there is a shadow dragon within. Ends up in this huge, like, high CR battle between over a dozen enemies, and the party wins. It takes, like, I think that battle took a good 2 or 3 sessions to finish.
Yeah, I
That
know
was a long battle.
Nitra used a circle spell to
Hit it with a what kind of power? Radiant damage on the Shadow Dragon, utilizing all of you guys to expend a spell slot to cast Circle Magic and making this huge area of effect spell that hit not just the Shadow Dragon, but the Shadow Demons that were giving it power. So because you damaged the Shadow Dragon so much, I had the Shadow Dragon absorb the Shadow Demons for temporary HP. So it took the Shadow Demons completely out of play by hitting it with that huge area of effect spell, which did a lot of damage, by the way. And you end up just annihilating the battlefield as a party. It was a great battle. It was not our most recent battle though, but it was second most recent battle that the party had. From there, they head back to the castle. They just having freed the Haunted Hill district, it starts to repopulate with the refugees from Sinandria, as well as the political prisoners from the Slam underneath the city. And you guys start to make preparations for leaving the city finally. Basically do a whole, like, shopping episode where you guys get ready, you buy what you need, and you get on board the airship, and off we go. And the first stop is at a Hunters Guild quest area, a farmstead just to the north of Dawnsmoke, where you guys stopped off and were informed by Farmer George that he and his wife Holga have had to deal with Onkhags infesting the ground underneath their pasture where the cows are grazing. And he said that, you know, Trader has come by and got eaten. Two adventurers that came by recently to try to do the quest have also died. And said that they tried smoking them out and it worked, but the Onkhags got away with the adventurers and their jaws, and their jaws. So the party ends up smoking out the Onkhags, kills about 6 of them, dives in. There's 6 more down in the Skittering Caverns. Bella is with them at this point, and Bella takes out 2 of the Onkhags, and they find the Brood Mother and proceed to start the battle with her, and she spits acid all on them at the end of that session. And that's where our latest session picks up, is where they end up doing battle with the Brood Mother and the 4 Onkhags that are left in the caverns. And the Brood Mother and the Skittering Onkhags start chewing out holes in the wall and spraying everybody with acid, and the place starts to collapse, and they kill the brood mother just in time while being sprayed all to hell with acid. And some of them have like less than 10 HP right now.
I'm at 11, bro. I'm at 11.
So that's where we're going to pick up our session tomorrow, is where they are all climbing out of this hole, dirty and beaten, bruised, and partially melted from bug acid, and they're all about to like pass out from this dangerous battle that just took place 60 feet underground. And it was their first quest outside of the city too, and they're just beaten and look like they've definitely been drugged through the dirt.
Yeah, basically 101, basically.
Yeah, so this is gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to this. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna be streaming every Sunday at around noon, and it'll go for about
noon Eastern Standard Time.
Noon Eastern Standard Time, correct? Yeah, and from there it will continue for about 4 hours till about 4 p.m. It ends at around 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Time. So try to stop around then. So we go for about 4 to 5 hours each time that we're playing. And this is actually the map we're on right now. This is where everybody's picking up with Bella, Nitra, Webb, Meep, Mogar, and Ankh. Our main cast, played by Fel, Nitra, Sly, Georgie, Eek, and Jay, respectively, in that order from left to right. Well, that was a fun little first session, so to speak. I'm glad we could actually get together for this little like campaign recap for a bit.
Hell yeah.
Glad you guys joined.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. I look forward to seeing everybody there tomorrow. Again, 12 p.m. Eastern Time.
Yep.
Be on time, you little shits.
Oh god, I promise I've never been late before. Definitely haven't. What?
Sly, I swear if you're late, you're getting sat on.
Alright, it's been real, it's been fun. And again, this is Lazarus, signing off for the day. See you tomorrow.
Welcome to Havenville, come and take a stroll. We've got every fight imaginable for body, heart, and soul. There's laws here, just the one though. Don't fight, kill, or steal.
Unless you do it quietly where Barty can't see how.
Welcome to Havenville, put your weapons down. The beholder in the top hat runs this charming little town, with a monocle of magic and 1,000 watching eyes. Mr. Barty is smiling as he maps your alibis. We've got markets in the shadows and the shadows in the square. We've got deals you'll swear are legal if you don't look over there. We've got chains and auctions whispered in a velvet tone. Property is theft, they say, then sell you someone's bones. Welcome to Havenville, pick your favorite sin. the streets, but in the pits it's fair game. Hunters Guild for monsters, Reversers Guild for pay. We'll send you somewhere deadly, then act shocked if you don't stay. Need a sword, the blacksmith smiles. Need a drink, the tavern cheers. Need to forget your conscience, there's a brothel full of tears. We've got neighborhoods with curfews. Paint your house the proper shade, or the evil HOA will fine you for the grass you didn't blade. Trim your hedges, mind your manners, don't let your gargoyle roam, or the council comes to kindly break your kneecaps with a gnome. Welcome to Havenville, where the Raven Queen resides, in a temple full of whispers and Shadarkai with hollow eyes. They'll bless you for your journey, they'll mourn you in advance. They've already booked your funeral, hope you like how it's planned. We've got secrets wrapped in secrets, deals inside of lies, contracts written in the bloodstains of 100 alibis. We've got justice with a grin, we've got mercy on display. We've got no crime allowed as long as crime looks the other way. So behave, smile wide, tip your hat to Barty's eye. If you're good, you'll be protected. If you're bad, well, don't get caught, you'll die. Welcome to Havenville, where it's safe unless you're seen, where the rules are made of velvet and the knives are in between. Come on in, the town's a haven, that's the lie we like to tell. Welcome, friend, to Havenville. Please enjoy your stay in hell.